My project is called Gardening for History, and so basically I researched what a Victorian garden would have looked like, and I installed and replicated the garden at the Hunter House Victorian Museum. I'm obviously very passionate about gardening. I love to garden, and so I was thinking about what kinds of things that I could do to incorporate my interests that would have an impact on our community. And living in, pretty urban Norfolk, I thought, what would be the best kind of nature-related project. The first aspect of my project was to research into what types of plants were at a Victorian garden. There were a couple different types, the parlor garden versus a vegetable garden, and so I looked into what would have been relevant for our area. I worked with our museum director and our museum archiver to find out the most relevant information. So far, we have shared the design plans with the Victorian Society of America, and online it's been made available through the Hunter House website, which we have shared with some local gardening groups so that they can see my research. Growing up in the city of Norfolk, there weren't quite as many green spaces as I would have liked. It was really only through the Girl Scouts that I was able to go do things like camping and picnicking and that sort of thing. So my goal for this project was to create a green space that really people just walking down the street could come in and enjoy, because it's free to enter and free for everyone in the city. So that was the goal, was to make sure that everyone was able to access a green space. I did design a self-tour pamphlet. So basically, when people come to the garden, they can take this pamphlet and go around and see where I've categorized each of the different plants and some of the different structures. Obviously, in the garden, I have built a set of cold frames, which are wooden structures that will stay there, and they're pretty visible and they're able to be used in the garden. And in addition to that, I've written a variety of publications. I've done several blog posts and a docent manual chapter. So basically for volunteer tour guides at the Hunter House Museum, I've written material so that they can cover the garden in their tours. My piece of advice would be to stick with it and do what you love. A lot of people, they can get distracted with other things. They want to do this academically, or they want to join a sports team or anything, but remember why you were in the Girl Scouts to begin with, and stick with what you love in the end, because there are plenty of benefits that come from being a Girl Scout, and remember why you joined in the first place. The Girl Scouts really represented a family for me. As a military family, there was nobody here in Norfolk, nobody in Hampton Roads. My closest family's in Texas, So really being as a part of a troop of Girl Scouts, it was like, wow, these are my friends, these are the people I'm always around, and we're getting to do cool things together.